Ladies and gentlemen, Arizona is often known for its deserts, cacti, and the Grand Canyon, but there's so much more beneath the surface of this remarkable state. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey through 50 geographic secrets about Arizona that even many Arizonans might not know. From hidden canyons and underground rivers to surprising mountain ranges and forgotten lakes, Arizona is a treasure trove of natural wonders. Did you know that some areas of Arizona are more like lush forests than deserts? Or that there's a canyon in Arizona that's even deeper than the Grand Canyon in some spots? These secrets reveal the diversity of landscapes in Arizona, from the highest peaks in the north to the scorching valleys in the south, from the rarest rock formations to ancient volcanic fields. Understanding these hidden gems not only connects us to Arizona's geography, but also to its history, ecology, and culture. By the end of this journey, I hope you'll see Arizona not just as a desert state, but as a dynamic, surprising land full of wonders that are waiting to be explored. Whether it's through hiking, exploring, or simply learning, there's always a new secret to discover. So buckle up, open your minds, and let's uncover the 50 geographic secrets of Arizona. Starting from the mountains and rivers to the deserts and valleys, we're about to see Arizona like never before. When most people think of Arizona, they immediately picture endless sand, scorching heat, and towering cacti. While deserts do cover a large portion of the state, this image represents only a fraction of Arizona's true geographic identity. In reality, Arizona is one of the most geographically diverse states in the United States, containing multiple climate zones and ecosystems that feel like entirely different parts of the world. Northern Arizona, for example, is dominated by high-elevation plateaus and dense pine forests. Areas like the Kaibab Plateau and the Coconino National Forest are filled with ponderosa pines, meadows, and wildlife more commonly associated with Colorado or Montana than a desert state. These regions receive significant snowfall each year, and some towns experience long, cold winters with temperatures far below freezing. Arizona is also home to alpine environments, with mountains such as Humphreys Peak rising over 12,600 feet above sea level. At these elevations, temperatures are cooler year-round, and plant life includes fir trees, aspens, and even tundra-like vegetation near the summits. This makes Arizona one of the few states where you can drive from a desert landscape to a snow-covered mountain within a few hours. In addition to forests and mountains, Arizona contains grasslands, wetlands, and riparian zones that support rich biodiversity. Rivers like the Colorado, Verde, and San Pedro create green corridors filled with cottonwood trees, willows, and abundant bird life. These areas contrast sharply with the surrounding arid lands and play a crucial role in supporting ecosystems and human settlements. The diversity of Arizona's geography is a result of its unique elevation changes, tectonic history, and climate patterns. Rather than being a single desert environment, Arizona is a complex mosaic of landscapes that challenge the common stereotype and reveal a state far richer and more varied than most people realize. While the Grand Canyon is Arizona's most famous natural landmark, it is far from the only canyon in the state. And surprisingly, it isn't always the deepest or most dramatic in every sense. Arizona is filled with countless hidden canyons, many of which remain unknown even to lifelong residents because they are remote, difficult to access, or overshadowed by the fame of the Grand Canyon. Some of these lesser-known canyons rival the Grand Canyon in depth, complexity, and beauty. For example, certain stretches of Hell's Canyon and Canyon de Chelly contain sheer cliff walls that plunge hundreds of feet straight down, creating narrow passages that feel far more enclosed and intense than the wide-open vistas most people associate with canyons. These tight formations were carved over millions of years by water erosion, flash floods, and shifting geological forces. Slot canyons are another hidden treasure of Arizona's canyon systems. These narrow, winding corridors, often only a few feet wide, were shaped by fast-moving water slicing through sandstone. Light filtering through the narrow openings creates dramatic colors and shadows, turning the canyon walls into glowing waves of red, orange, and gold. Many of these slot canyons are not marked on maps and require local knowledge to find. Several canyons also hold deep cultural and historical significance. Indigenous communities lived in and around these canyon systems for thousands of years, using the cliffs for shelter and the canyon floors for farming. Ancient dwellings, petroglyphs, and pathways carved into stone can still be found hidden within canyon walls, offering a glimpse into civilizations that thrived long before modern exploration. What makes these hidden canyons truly remarkable is their sense of isolation and untouched beauty. Unlike the Grand Canyon, which sees millions of visitors each year, many of Arizona's secret canyons remain quiet, undisturbed, and rarely photographed. They represent a side of Arizona's geography that is raw, intimate, and deeply connected to the forces of nature that continue to shape the land today. Many people are surprised to learn that Arizona has a powerful volcanic past, one that has left behind hundreds of ancient volcanoes scattered across the state. These volcanoes are long extinct or dormant, but their presence has dramatically shaped Arizona's landscape, soil, and even climate patterns over millions of years. Rather than explosive, towering volcanoes like those seen in Hawaii or the Pacific Northwest, Arizona's volcanic features are often subtle, blending into the land as cones, craters, lava fields, and basalt flows. One of the most significant volcanic regions in the state is the San Francisco Volcanic Field in northern Arizona. This area contains more than 600 volcanic features, including cinder cones, lava domes, and volcanic vents. Humphreys Peak, Arizona's highest point, is actually the remnant of an ancient stratovolcano that once stood much taller before collapsing inward. The mountain's rugged slopes and jagged ridges are the result of repeated eruptions followed by erosion over vast periods of time. In other parts of Arizona, massive lava flows created landscapes that feel almost alien. The black basalt fields near Sunset Crater and the Lava River Cave are remnants of eruptions that occurred less than 1,000 years ago, making them geologically young. These eruptions altered the surrounding environment, forcing early inhabitants to adapt to newly formed land while benefiting from fertile volcanic soils that later supported agriculture. Volcanic activity also played a role in shaping Arizona's underground geography. Lava tubes formed when molten rock flowed beneath hardened surfaces, leaving behind long, hollow tunnels once the lava drained away. Some of these tubes stretch for miles beneath the ground and are still accessible today, offering a glimpse into the state's fiery geological history. Beyond their dramatic appearance, Arizona's ancient volcanoes influenced river paths, canyon formations, and mineral deposits. They contributed to the creation of rich soils, unique ecosystems, and unusual landforms that continue to define the state's geography, quietly reminding us that Arizona was once a land of fire and transformation. Despite its reputation as a dry, water-scarce state, Arizona contains a surprising network of secret lakes, hidden rivers, and underground waterways that many people never see or even realize exist. These water sources are often tucked away in remote canyons, forested highlands, or beneath the desert surface, playing a vital role in sustaining life across the state. Several rivers in Arizona flow year-round, but many of their most beautiful sections remain concealed by rugged terrain. The Verde River, for example, winds through deep valleys and narrow canyons where thick vegetation creates lush, green corridors in stark contrast to the surrounding desert. These riparian zones support wildlife such as beavers, otters, and hundreds of bird species, making them some of the most biologically rich areas in the state. Arizona is also home to hidden lakes formed by natural springs, ancient landslides, or volcanic activity. Some of these lakes appear suddenly after heavy rainfall and disappear just as quickly, while others remain permanent but isolated. In higher elevations, snowmelt feeds small alpine lakes that are surrounded by pine forests and mountain meadows, creating landscapes that feel more like the Rocky Mountains than the Southwest. Beneath the surface, vast underground aquifers store enormous amounts of water. These underground reservoirs slowly feed springs and rivers, allowing water to emerge in unexpected places, even in the middle of arid desert regions. Some desert oases exist solely because of these hidden aquifers, supporting palm trees, wetlands, and rare plant species that would otherwise be impossible in such harsh conditions. Historically, these hidden water sources determined where ancient civilizations settled and traveled. Indigenous communities relied on secret springs and seasonal rivers for survival, often passing this knowledge down through generations. Even today, many of Arizona's lesser-known lakes and rivers remain known only to locals, scientists, or experienced explorers, quietly shaping the state's geography and life systems in ways that are rarely visible at first glance. Arizona's landscape is shaped by some of the most unusual and rare rock formations in North America, many of which remain unknown to the general public. While towering red cliffs and wide canyon walls are commonly associated with the state, there are countless lesser-known formations that reveal the complex geological history written into Arizona's stone. These formations were created over hundreds of millions of years through erosion, sediment buildup, volcanic activity, and tectonic shifts. One of the most striking features found across Arizona is the presence of hoodoos, tall, thin spires of rock formed when softer sediment erodes faster than the harder capstone on top. These natural pillars can stand for centuries, slowly changing shape as wind, rain, and temperature fluctuations sculpt them. Some regions contain entire clusters of hoodoos, creating landscapes that look almost like natural cities carved from stone. Arizona is also home to natural bridges and arches formed when flowing water-carved pathways through solid rock. Over time, sections of canyon walls collapsed, leaving behind massive stone spans that stretch across open air. These formations are not only visually dramatic, but also geologically rare, requiring very specific conditions to form and survive. In certain areas, layered rock formations reveal colorful bands of red, white, yellow, and purple, each layer representing a different era of Earth's history. These layers were once ocean floors, riverbeds, sand dunes, or volcanic ash fields, compressed and hardened into stone over time. By studying these layers, geologists can trace ancient climates and environmental changes that occurred long before humans existed. Some of Arizona's most unusual rocks come from volcanic origins, including twisted lava formations, basalt columns, and hardened lava waves that appear frozen in motion. These formations add another dimension to the state's geology, showing how fire and molten rock once shaped the land alongside water and wind, leaving behind landscapes that feel both ancient and otherworldly. Arizona is one of the few states in the country that contains a wide range of climate zones within its borders, making its weather patterns as diverse as its landscapes. While the state is often associated with extreme heat, especially in the southern desert regions, this represents only one part of a much broader climatic picture shaped largely by dramatic changes in elevation. At lower elevations, such as the Sonoran Desert, temperatures can soar above 110 degrees Fahrenheit during the summer months. These areas receive minimal rainfall, and the climate supports drought-resistant plants like saguaros, creosote bushes, and mesquite trees. Despite the harsh conditions, life thrives here in highly specialized forms adapted to intense heat and limited water. As elevation increases, the climate changes significantly. Central Arizona experiences a semi-arid climate with milder temperatures and seasonal rainfall brought by the summer monsoon. These monsoon storms can transform dry landscapes into temporary rivers and green valleys, dramatically altering the environment within a matter of days. Northern Arizona features a completely different climate zone, with cooler temperatures and 4 distinct seasons. High elevation areas receive heavy snowfall in winter, and temperatures can drop well below freezing. Towns in this region experience long winters, short summers, and weather patterns more similar to the northern United States than the Southwest. At the highest elevations, alpine climates exist where temperatures remain cool year-round. These areas support forests of spruce, fir, and aspen, along with plant species that can only survive in cold conditions. The presence of so many climate zones within one state means that Arizona can experience desert heat, mountain snow, and seasonal storms all at the same time, creating a geographic complexity that few people fully appreciate. Beneath Arizona's dramatic surface landscapes lies a vast and largely unseen underground world that plays a crucial role in shaping the state's geography. While the deserts, mountains, and canyons dominate what people see above ground, below the surface exists a complex network of caves, lava tubes, underground rivers, and aquifers that many Arizonans never realize are there. One of the most fascinating underground features in Arizona is its extensive cave systems. Formed over millions of years by water slowly dissolving limestone and other soluble rocks, these caves contain massive chambers, narrow passageways, and delicate mineral formations. Stalactites, stalagmites, and flowstone formations grow at incredibly slow rates, creating natural structures that record the passage of time in stone. Lava tubes are another remarkable feature of Arizona's underground geography. These tunnels formed when molten lava flowed beneath a hardened outer layer during volcanic eruptions. Once the lava drained away, long hollow tubes remained beneath the surface. Some of these lava tubes stretch for miles and maintain stable temperatures year-round, making them unique environments for specialized organisms and important natural shelters throughout history. Arizona's underground world also includes hidden rivers and vast aquifers that store enormous quantities of fresh water. These underground water systems feed springs, wetlands, and surface rivers, allowing life to exist even in the driest regions of the state. In some areas, water flows unseen beneath the desert for miles before emerging unexpectedly as a spring or oasis. This underground geography has influenced human settlement for thousands of years. Indigenous peoples understood the locations of hidden water sources and caves, using them for survival, ceremony, and protection. Today, scientists continue to study Arizona's underground systems to better understand water conservation, geological history, and the delicate balance between surface and subsurface environments. Arizona's geographic diversity has given rise to some of the rarest and most isolated ecosystems in North America. Because of dramatic elevation changes, varied climates, and geographic barriers such as mountains and canyons, many plant and animal species in Arizona exist only in small, specific areas, separated from similar habitats by vast stretches of desert or rock. One striking example of these isolated ecosystems is found in Arizona's Sky Islands. These are mountain ranges that rise abruptly from desert floors, creating cool, forested environments surrounded by arid lowlands. Each Sky Island functions like a biological island, supporting species that cannot survive in the hot desert below. Over time, these isolated conditions have allowed unique plants and animals to evolve independently. Riparian ecosystems along rivers and streams are another rare and fragile feature of Arizona's geography. Although they make up a very small percentage of the state's land area, they support a disproportionately large amount of biodiversity. Cottonwood trees, willows, and thick vegetation create shaded corridors that provide food, shelter, and migration routes for birds, mammals, reptiles, and insects. Arizona also contains specialized desert ecosystems where life survives under extreme conditions. Certain plants bloom only after rare rainfall events, while some animals emerge only at night or during specific seasons. These highly adapted species depend on precise environmental conditions, making their habitats especially sensitive to change. In some remote areas, isolated wetlands, springs, and high-elevation meadows support species found nowhere else in the world. These ecosystems are living laboratories of evolution, shaped by geography and climate over thousands of years, and they highlight how Arizona's landscapes are not only diverse, but also biologically unique and irreplaceable. Arizona stands out as a state defined by powerful geographic extremes, often existing side by side within relatively short distances. These extremes are not only dramatic, but also essential to understanding why Arizona's landscapes are so diverse and unpredictable. Few places in the world allow such sharp contrasts in elevation, temperature, and terrain within a single state. One of the most striking extremes is elevation. Arizona's lowest point, near the Colorado River, sits just a few hundred feet above sea level, while its highest point, Humphreys Peak, rises over 12,600 feet. This difference in elevation creates entirely different environments, climates, and ecosystems, influencing everything from weather patterns to vegetation and wildlife distribution. Temperature extremes further define Arizona's geography. Some regions regularly record some of the hottest temperatures in the United States, with summer heat reaching well above 110 degrees Fahrenheit. At the same time, high elevation areas can experience freezing temperatures and heavy snowfall during the same season, creating a state where winter and summer coexist at once. Arizona also contains extreme landforms shaped by powerful natural forces. Deep canyons cut through solid rock, towering cliffs rise abruptly from desert floors, and vast flat plateaus stretch for miles in every direction. These features were carved by water, wind, and tectonic movement over millions of years, resulting in landscapes that appear both ancient and raw. Water itself represents another extreme in Arizona. While much of the state is defined by dryness and scarcity, sudden monsoon storms can unleash intense rainfall that transforms dry washes into raging rivers within minutes. These rapid changes highlight the dramatic and sometimes dangerous contrasts that define Arizona's geography and shape the way life adapts to this ever-changing environment. Arizona's geography has played a powerful role in shaping its human history, influencing where people settled, how they traveled, and the ways they survived in a challenging environment. Long before modern cities existed, the state's landforms, water sources, and climate patterns determined the movement and lifestyles of the people who lived there. Ancient civilizations carefully adapted to Arizona's geography. Indigenous communities built their settlements near rivers, springs, and fertile valleys, using natural features such as cliffs and canyons for protection and shelter. Cliff dwellings carved into canyon walls were not only homes, but also strategic responses to the rugged terrain and changing climate. The land itself guided architectural design, farming methods, and trade routes. Rivers and natural corridors shaped travel and communication across the region. Paths through mountain passes, along river valleys, and across plateaus became early transportation routes that later influenced modern roads and railways. Even today, many highways follow paths first established by geography rather than human planning. Arizona's mineral-rich geology also attracted settlers during different historical periods. The presence of copper, silver, and gold led to mining booms that created towns in otherwise remote areas. These towns often rose and fell based on the accessibility of resources, water availability, and the harshness of the surrounding terrain. As modern cities developed, geography continued to influence urban growth. Access to water, protection from flooding, and proximity to transportation routes shaped where cities expanded and how they were designed. Arizona's history cannot be separated from its geography, as the land has continuously directed human choices, challenges, and adaptation across centuries. In exploring these 50 geographic secrets, we begin to see Arizona not just as a desert state, but as a land of astonishing diversity, hidden wonders, and natural extremes. From soaring mountains and secret rivers to rare ecosystems and ancient volcanoes, every corner of Arizona tells a story written in stone, water, and life itself. Understanding these secrets reminds us that there is always more to discover, even in places we think we know well. Arizona challenges us to look closer, explore further, and appreciate the incredible complexity of the land beneath our feet. It is a state that rewards curiosity, invites adventure, and inspires awe, proving that sometimes the greatest discoveries are hidden in plain sight.